SBCSS Digital Learning Services hosted a series of webinars based on ISTE's 5 competencies of digital citizenship. Each day of Digital Citizenship Week, we had a special guest presenter who was able to give us a deeper insight on each of those ISTE 5 competencies of digital citizenship. So we started off Monday with Informed Digital Citizenship. That was presented by Deidra Puentes from Workforce SBCSS. Digital citizenship is 1 week, but digital citizenship is not to be confined to a week. So we have these resources available for you year-round and as you need them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope that you enjoy.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Digital Citizenship Week 2023. Each day of the week, we will be learning about a topic from ISTE's 5 competencies of digital citizenship. That includes being informed, inclusive, balanced, alert, and engaged. So today we are starting off with informed digital citizenship. We are so excited to have Deidra here to tell us more about being informed digital citizens. And I will pass it over to Deidra.
We're going to look at evaluating online content so that our students can positively contribute to and responsibly participate in a digital world. The presentation that I'm giving today is based on content that was developed by Carla Lechuga. She's another curriculum specialist here at San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. And she was kind enough to allow me to use her content to adapt it and present it here today. So for digital literacy defined, the American Library Association defines it as someone's ability to use information technology, digital technology to find, evaluate, create, and communicate information requiring both cognitive and technical skills. You'll see that the evaluate there is typed a little differently. That was to draw attention to the topic that I'm going to be covering today. We're going to look at different tools students can use and tools that teachers can use to learn more about evaluating online content so that they're more comfortable teaching these skills to their students. So research shows that there are a number of specific benefits to students who realize that they'll realize once they gain the digital literacy skills. So why is digital literacy important? The Burning Glass Technologies did a study and identified that 82% of middle skill jobs require digital skills. This graphic organizer shows different industry-related certifications that can be used by that can be earned by students to help prepare them for entry to a career. Our end goal is to prepare our students for employment and for them to be able to demonstrate that they have digital skills necessary. These are different certifications that they could earn if they need to for those entry-level positions. There are multiple ways you can promote digital literacy in your classroom. This link here, this is actually a link, and we're going to go into it further when we get further into the presentation. This was developed, it's an online lesson. It's built out in Adobe Spark, and it has information on everything that I'm going to cover today and more. You're going to have opportunity to look through this information and to consider how you might use this information or to teach your students in your classroom or to share it with other teachers so that they can more effectively teach their students how to evaluate digital content. In this lesson, we use multiple modes of representation such as audio, text, video, and images to ensure that the lessons are interactive and that they are more engaging for students and to help them give them a deeper understanding of the content. Most of us thought it was real. The first time I saw it, I thought it was real too. And I think part of it might be because the video quality wasn't that great. So you really couldn't see that there were the plexiglass track in the water for the pigs to go swim around or anything like that. And it makes it look more like just someone generally just went out and recorded the video. It wasn't like a big production, but as you can see, there was a big production going on behind the scenes. So that was one of the little activities you could do with your class to have them evaluate online content to see if they can determine if it's real or fake. Evaluating digital content. The goal is to help your students look critically at information to determine its relevance, suitability, and reliability. Why and how to evaluate digital content. There's many different tools to assist your students in doing this. One of them is the CRAAP test, or the CRAAP. And this is a relevancy tool that helps them look at currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. And these links here will take you to some of these online tools. This one in particular is like a rubric that looks at the authority, bias, currency, and documentation, and then it walks them through what do they need to look for to identify those things, why should they evaluate that item, and how can they tell. Your students need to be able to distinguish information, real information from misinformation, such as fake news. And we kind of want to look at artificial intelligence and disinformation. I found 2 resources here, or 2 articles that I thought would be helpful, especially with this, with ChatGPT. The first one is AI misinformation, why it works and how to spot it. That article actually gives 4 clear steps kind of towards the end regarding how to identify if the information is incorrect and key things to look at to determine if it's real or fake. The second one I thought was interesting because it's called That's Not Right, How to Tell ChatGPT When It's Wrong. And the author actually goes through the entire script of the questions he asked ChatGPT, and he knows there's inaccuracies in it, and how he words it to tell ChatGPT that they were inaccurate. And ChatGPT is very friendly, and they always apologize for the error, and they say, I'll correct that, that will be corrected. However, that would be good information to show students so that they understand that just because ChatGPT says, oh, this is the list, and these are all these are all correct, doesn't mean that it's totally accurate. So they need to fact check ChatGPT as well, because it's only as accurate as the information that's fed into it. The next one is fact checking strategies. These 2 are for videos. So there's 2 videos that look at image and video manipulation to help students identify items that may have been edited or that are inaccurate. Some of the fact-checking websites that are useful are Snopes, PolitiFact, FactCheck, and the Misinformation Directory. And this is our website that we're going to evaluate using the checklist. Webpage evaluation. So basically it looks at, like, it asks the students to list the site name, what is the URL, how did they find the website, and then it's like, what website is it? Is it like commercial, personal, military, government, nonprofit? So these are some of the things that it would walk the student through and have them identify. Why was the website created? Do they have a mission or purpose? So it would take time for them to go through and evaluate these things. And then it allows them to score the website on their answers that they've given. So now that we've kind of looked through this a little bit, if I click on help, we'll see what we have here. Like I said, I don't see very many ads, but I don't really see any information about who wrote it. There is a video there though. Sightings, they have a few pictures, but they're not very clear. Oh, there's one, and a dog. And then they have references here, but it's like to children's literature, so that might be a little different. And then activities, is that how to, the octopus house. And then here's the links that they've included in there. So thinking of our checklist and what we just did, if you want to put your vote in, I put a Mentimeter in here. If you want to use that, you can use your phone to scan it. The vote options are, I think it's the real deal, I need to do some more research, or hands down a hoax. So if you want to scan that and put in your vote, or go to Mentimeter and put in your vote, I'll give you just like a minute or so to do that. So this presentation has provided you with a lot of, there are a lot of additional resources. For example, I've included this one here. It says evaluating the website, and that's the same one that we just used to evaluate the Octopus Tree website. So that is printable. You can download it. I believe it's saved in a Google Drive. So you can print it from there so that your students could use it, or you could upload and put a link into an LMS. That would be up to you. The activity number 2, this is fake news and Snopes. It's a document that takes them through the use of Snopes and how to identify fake news. This one is, it's actually a podcast, so you can listen to someone who was a fake news creator, why they got into it, how they continued, and how they got more people to be to follow the information and to believe the incorrect information that they were posting. Activity number 4, is it fake news? This is one of the sparks that are included in the at-home work-based learning, which was mentioned in my bio. And this one has a lot of different activities, like online activities students could do. They can click through and they can evaluate information as and get the answers as to whether or not it's correct. We'll click on one of these here in a minute. This one I thought was interesting. This is Bad News Game, create a fake news profile. This one takes, it's kind of like one of those stories where you read the story and you get to pick the ending. I'm going to click on that one. And this one is Spot a Troll. This one pulls up social media posts, and then it has the user actually read through the comments and determine if that person is a troll or if it's a real person, to see if they can spot whether or not they're a troll, basically. Like, can you tell real comments from troll comments? So this one was develop the fake news channel. So if you click start, the first step it's going to take you through is impersonation. And basically they'll give you prompts here, and then you pick your response. It's either hey or who are you? And the goal is to get more followers. This is like on the left-hand side, these are your followers on social media. So my job is to guide you in your quest to becoming a disinformation or fake news tycoon. Says, oh boy, you're probably frustrated about something, right? Aren't we all? You can get started by using Twitter to vent. Should we post a frustrated tweet, or you're not sure? So you can pick, and it kind of guides you through the process. I say, I'm not sure. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe. Nothing you do in this game affects the real world. Okay, because this isn't a real tweet. But so it only gives you one option to post the tweet. So the government is a complete, utter failure, resign, losers. Tweet this or not this one, and you can click that and it will give you a different one. And I just picked one to see what it would say. And then you'll see I have 25 followers now. Look, your edifying critique of the mainstream media got you a few followers, and more followers means more influence. A start's a start, or what do I do next? If I look at my meter, people will find you're credible yet. To gain some real influence, you'll need to raise your credibility. And it says, but how, or I'm ready. So if I click, but how, it says, I'll show you. But first, would you like to take part in a study, fake news recognition? It'll only take about 1 to 2 minutes of your time. You can say yes. And if you have your students say yes, then they could take the assessment, or you say no. It says, no worries. To gain notoriety can start by borrowing someone's credibility. What do you want to do? So am I going to make a fake account or impersonate someone important? I'll just say fake. And I'm just going to say this one so I can get to the next step. They got it. It looks like you fooled some Twitter users. I've got a couple more people over here, and then I can check reactions, and then they put some comments down here. So I'm trying to get to the part where it says I want to start a blog. You're always right. So then it says, oh, because I told it I wanted to start a blog. So it gives me examples of different names I could name it. So I can just pick this one. And then we'll say, I want to be editor-in-chief. And then it looks like you're all set up. Other news sites are beginning to notice you. I'm at 91 followers now. Check responses on Twitters. So this is Honest Truth Online has just joined the fight against mainstream media. Citation media. So then it gives me an example of somebody else's fake news channel that can say, oh, well, they have brilliant work. So that makes more people believe that it's real when other fake medias say that we're correct. So I've got 150 followers now. How do you see it's so easy to impersonate credible news source? So as long as I can get another news source, whether it's a good news source or not, to follow me and say how good of a news source I am, it builds my credibility because people aren't necessarily checking the other sources that are saying you're doing a good job. So that was the first part, impersonation. Most people pay little attention to sources. As a purveyor of disinformation, you can use that to your advantage. So then you'll see that it takes through, these are all the techniques. So we just finished the impersonation one. And as a student would move through, the next one would be emotion, and then polarization, conspiracy, how to discredit, and trolling. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but that gives you a general idea of how it works. Is the students just kind of do a pick your story kind of thing to see how it increases or decreases their followers, and to identify how these fake news sources are actually getting more followers. This one was a good one, is a good one as well. This is it fake news? And it's built in Adobe Spark. So this one should be accessible at a school site level. And they're very visually pleasing. There's a lot, we have a lot of these lessons. This one in particular is specific to the content that I'm presenting today. But as you go through it, you'll see that we define things like what is fake news, misinformation or disinformation, where does it come from, what varieties. We include videos, there's a quiz. So it's very interactive. There's a lot of different activities in there. The thing about these lessons is that they can either be used for a student to independently and self-paced complete the lessons and turn in whatever it is the teachers ask them to complete. Or as a teacher, you could go through and pick out the pieces that you want to focus on and present those to the class. So if you wanted to do this one for the day, where does fake news come from? That could be a lesson with a video for them to watch, and then there's a quiz for them to take. And then that might be the lesson for the day, and you might have other activities you've developed around that topic. This one is quite long, and there's quite a bit in there. Quite a few videos and quizzes. It talks about fake news in the workplace. And I believe, I don't want to scroll too fast because I know it makes everybody dizzy, but it talks about different, like the sock puppet, check the source, field guide to fake news sites, who else is reporting the story. So it talks about where did you see the story once, and have you seen it at other reputable news outlets? Examine the evidence, look for fake images. So there's a lot of really good resources here. Like I said, it's really long, but if a teacher would go through it and just pick out certain topics, they could do short little mini lessons that are activities that could actually be embedded into the lessons they're already doing. So this one is digital literacy skills, evaluating digital content. And as you go through, you'll recognize this was earlier in the presentation. You saw this picture of President Lincoln. So this is just more in depth of everything that I've already covered. It talks about web facts. Where was it? The internet came from the World Wide Web in 1989. The first website went live in 1991. It's a long time ago. Talks about the importance of evaluating online content, like what are the impacts that this ability to be able to do this will have on your students as they move through their life. How to evaluate online content. Here's the craft test I had talked about earlier. There's actually a video included with that one. This is a link to the same rubric that I showed you earlier, the ABC one, and this one is a different version. But then you'll see it takes you through additional steps, and it gives them specifics like examine the URL. What are you looking for in the URL? What are the different domains and extensions? Which ones are more reliable or trustworthy? So I'm going to keep scrolling through, look into this presentation, and I think I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that, to look through it and pick one thing that you think would be really useful in your class, how your students might use it, how it could be integrated in your class, or how would your students being able to master the topic that you select from this presentation or from this content here, would help them improve their work in your course. This slide here is digital literacy assessments that we found that were very helpful. The North Star Digital Literacy is an assessment that students can take to determine where they're at in their digital literacy skills. And it issues them a badge. Once they reach a certain percentage, they can earn a digital badge stating that they have digital literacy. But it does give them a roadmap, and it identifies areas they need to improve their skills in. And that's the North Star one on the left. And then the digital skills on the right for global society, that's similar. However, it does not issue a digital badge, but it does let you get an idea of where your students are on those different competencies. I just have one more slide. It has my information and Carla's information. If you want to reach out and ask any questions or you want more information, our emails are there. Like I said, I'm going to provide Jessica with a bit.ly link for the presentation and all the links that are in here, and we'll send out, we'll provide Jessica with a survey. And if she would send that out, anybody that responds, we'll make sure that we get that content organized so that it's easy to access and easy to use.
Happy Digital Citizenship Week, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.